Hi, I'm Chet Show. It's a new year and a new Chet Chat, and my guest today will help us get ready for the new year ahead. Joey Helm has the inside scoop on Benjamin Moore's Color of the Year. January is National Mentoring Month, and my good friend Kendal Francis reminds us why it's so important to be a mentor. In our DIY segment, the occasional wife shares her tips on how to easily get organized this year. And in my design time, I'll tell you the top design trends for 2014. So guys, let's do this. Design Show, Chet Chat. Design Show, Chet Chat.
I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs. I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs. I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs for New Orleans. I'm Chet Show on LAE. I'm Chet Show on LAE. Chet Chat on LAE. Chet Chat on LAE. I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs for New Orleans.
Lemon sorbet was the color of last year. 2014 comes with a new trend, and my good friend Joey Helm from Helm Paint joins me today to talk about the color of this year and how you can incorporate that in your home decor. Welcome back, Joey.
Thank you very much for having me, Chad. We appreciate it.
You always come back. You always bring us useful information. So last year, you talked about the color of the year, which was lemon sorbet. So we all want to know, what is Benjamin Moore Helm Paint's color of this year?
Well, they have shifted to a cooler color, a much cooler color in my opinion, which is a breath of fresh air. And this really goes back to people taking a residential retreat, if you will.
Right.
Somebody, they want to go home, they don't want to be slapped in the face with bright, bright colors. They want to go somewhere where they can relax and be at home, if you will. I think these colors reflect being outside, being around tranquil nature, you know, being around water, being around. What you see with these colors is sort of a spa feel, something to relax, something to calm. And actually, we've had a lot of good success with it.
So last year, it was lemon sorbet, which was kind of a soft color as well. So this year is, you know, they're calling it the new neutrals, I think. I read that.
The new neutrals, I guess. Yeah. That's probably a, you know, a coined phrase that you could use. But to me, these colors they're not overly saturated, you know, but because what you have is you have colors that kind of meet the whole spectrum. They go deep, medium, and pastel, but they're nice colors. They're nice, you know, muted colors that you can work with across the board.
And how can people implement these colors in their home design?
Well, with the colors of 2014, you see it more, people changing master bedrooms and changing their bathrooms and doing things. That's where the projects seem to be moving. However, some of the common areas in your home, in the den, in the kitchens, where people hang out or they entertain in those areas, these colors are widely used because they're widely accepted. And you see them in a lot of different commercial applications as well. But people kind of translate that into the home to be something calming, something that works across the board. Not just common colors, but colors that actually evoke a little emotion with that too.
What I like about that is I'm calling it the color of the year, but you're saying there's different colors of the year, so it's a whole palette of different colors.
Yeah, there's 24 colors in 2014's palette, but they've chosen one to be their favorite, if you will, and that's a breath of fresh air. Get away from the cell phones, get away from the computer monitors, get away from the hustle and bustle. Go to that residential retreat at home and use a color. Take a deep breath of fresh air and actually enjoy it and pull the color in.
So you guys are locally owned and operated and have been for a long time, and on this show I always love to support the local economy. So whenever people go to Helm Paint, how do you guys help them with making sure that they have received the right color? Well,
we're a family business. We do care about everything we do, and service is number one.
Right.
And if you don't discern the value in coming into our location as opposed to somewhere else and buying paint, we have not done our job.
Absolutely.
Jack. So we have many people there who are actually trained in color. They've worked with color since the day we brought them in. We've trained them, and they're very familiar with color. We have samples that you can actually buy sample pots, bring them home. We actually have dry samples that you can look at, bring them home, which are 24 by 24s.
Yeah, I love using those.
Yeah, large samples that you can take home and kind of put up, and you can actually bring them back if you want. So there's a lot of things, a lot of tools you can use to look at color, but we can also help you inside to say, hey, this is a nice color that kind of looks, you know, it's warm. This is cool. This will work in a common area. This will work in your bedroom. This will work in your library. This will work in your bathroom.
So whenever I go into Helm Paint to help a client, everybody there is so useful and so friendly, and they're always willing to help. And I refer everybody to you because, like I said before, I'm a local business. I want to support local businesses because that helps the New Orleans economy grow. So what is coming up for you guys at Helm Paint in 2014 that people can look forward to?
Well, we're always involved in the community. We love New Orleans.
Right.
You know, 6 locations in the area because we put them in the areas that we think people need the help, and obviously we want to be where we're convenient.
Okay.
When you come into Helm Paint, you know, like you said, you're going to get the service, but we also want to give you beyond that. We want to do seminars at night. We want to talk about color. We want to help you put colors together. We are reaching out to the architect and design community as well, because we want them to have all the tools that they can, and we want to be your paint store that gives you everything you need in terms of color expertise, if you will, and the technical expertise. What primer do I use in this area to cover this, you know, this particular substrate or this wall or this piece of metal? We know what do we do with this piece of metal? So we're giving you the technical expertise, we're giving you the color expertise, and we're going to service you till no end.
Right, and you know, I like to tell people that if your color is not right in your home, you can have the most expensive furniture, and that furniture is not going to look good. But if you have the right color, you don't have to buy expensive furniture because the color is going to help to enhance
bring
it.
Everything together.
How do you feel about that?
I believe that. I think the color, because it's such a backdrop, it actually accentuates what you put in the room.
Right.
I mean, you do this all the time. You bring in accents, you bring in different accessories to pull it all together. But it's really that backdrop that sets the mood of the room.
Right.
So.
Well, we have to wrap up, but I also noticed you have a little retail you're starting to do in some of your stores. You're starting to sell a little, like lamps or something I saw at.
We have decorative accessories, yes, and well, we do well around the holidays with that.
I bet.
But we just wanted to bring something else in, something that you could add, you know, to your decor.
Right.
And something that works with color. We have people in there to help you put it together, and that's really what it's all about, bringing you a full package. Window treatments, if you wall coverings have actually made a surge in the last 2 years.
Yes.
And decorative accessories to go along with your paint.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure. You always give us useful information. If people wanted to look for you guys online, how would they go about doing that?
Helmpaint.com.
Okay.
If you go to helmpaint.com, it'll show you maps of our locations, how you can get there. You can call us, ask us any questions. We're there to help. We're here to help.
Okay. Happy New Year. Thank you for coming on, Joe. I
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having me. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Guys, stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
January is National Mentoring Month. Kendal Francis from Blessed 26 is here to tell us about mentoring and how it has such a big impact on our community. Kendal, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chet.
So Kendal, tell me, let's first start off by talking about why is mentoring so important?
It's the best way you can pay it forward. You know, all of us who are successful or healthy and happy or what have you, live prosperous lives, we didn't get here on our own. Right. Someone along the way has helped us somehow. And when you're able to pay it forward, human nature kicks in.
Right.
There's a debt of gratitude. And if we just work on that and that alone, we can have a better community, better city, better state, just off that. And it happened to me. I was mentored, and so there was no decision for me not to mentor.
Right. And so you have a program that you have started called Blessed 26.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your program and why that is so important to you.
Blessed 26, it is organic. It's basically a realization that I realized in college on how blessed I was. I actually had someone come in at FCA Huddle. He's a local agent in town, Carl Bernard, Victory LLC, and he said, guys, I want you to understand something, that you all have this platform of playing football. You haven't been blessed because you've won the Lord's lottery.
Right.
You've only been blessed to be a blessing to someone else. So find a way to utilize your talents, your platform to bless someone. And as I got more and more engaged in the community, working at a news station, I had an opportunity to go mentor at a local organization, and I just sat down with a lot of young people, and I humbled myself, not to come in like I knew all the answers, but I came and I listened to them because I realized that we talk about our kids, but we rarely talk to our kids.
Or
and they
listen.
have so much to say, exactly. They have so much to say. And I think that rapport just built up and went from there.
So before we went on, you were telling me earlier that your situation is a little different. Most people who are mentors comes from a background where they needed to be mentored. You didn't come from that background. You said you had the best father and the best brother that were actually great mentors to you. So why do you want to become a mentor? Why do you want to pay it forward?
It's necessary. And like I said, I think I stand on the shoulders of giants. Like I said, my father is the man of all men to me. My older brother, I had my hero as my older brother growing up. You know, my grandfather's the most faith-filled man I know, and my grandfather, who's no longer with us, he died at 100 years old, was the wisest man I know. So having all that around me, but yet I had people respond to me in my community because they saw me being proactive. They saw me doing things that I didn't necessarily have to do, and they just lent their hand to me, said, we want to support you because we think that you get it. And I know without them, I would not be where I am today. And so I'm like, I have to give that back. It is my obligation to, I tried to repay some of them after their support they gave me in college, and all of them said the same thing. It's like, oh, it's not that easy. Well, you have to do it for someone else. And I figured, well, mathematically, that's not going to work out if I take one young person at a time. Let me do it in a group setting, and everything just kind of came together with the support of friends and my personal network, and Bless 26 was formed.
Why Bless 26? Why that name? I love it, but why did you choose Bless 26?
I realized that I have only been blessed to be a blessing to others. 26, actually were the #1 in high school. I was a high school all-state quarterback, came at Tulane, career went completely different than what I thought it was going to go. And when I changed positions, they just gave me this random number 26, that anyone I looked up to, they didn't wear that or whatever. And so my life kind of went random. So I feel like God's plan for my life was none of my business, pretty much. And so this is the number 26, and in college, where I realized it's at, I learned that I was blessed only to be a blessing to someone else, and 26 is a reminder of that, and it's kind of worked out for me a little bit.
That's great. That's great. That's a good story. So you have a event that's coming up soon, right? Tell us about that, and tell us how people can get involved in it.
The Family Breakfast. The Family Breakfast, it's going to be January 29th at Xavier University in 3rd floor ballroom. The Xavier University Business School Entrepreneurship Institute, they brought on Bless 26, and they're our biggest sponsor, biggest proponent. And that event, the Family Breakfast, the name comes from, you can't do anything in New Orleans without food being involved. Of course. Coming from a middle-class family, you know, you sit down and have your meals together and discuss the various roles. And in New Orleans, we have to have a discussion regarding what's going on in our city. And what's going on in our city is a lot of things with young people. No movement throughout time has ever been effective without the involvement of young people. So we want to sit down with our young people, and we want to have the most important meal of the day, breakfast, and have a very, very important discussion, and let them know what their resources are. There are people that love and respect them and want to see them do well, and there's a program out there for them that's organic, and it shows them how to create a foundation for themselves. And so that event I couldn't do it without, like I said, the Xavier Institute, Entrepreneurship Institute, and TRI, it's the Reconciliation Institute. They've lent administrative services to Bless 26, and until I brought them on, we weren't really heading anywhere fast. They really, really were a great asset to us. Wendy's has lent their hand, and they've sponsored the program, allowing us to do it and giving us finances. First NBC Bank has been beautiful to us. On the Bilo Foundation, they actually own Winn-Dixie. They have lent some, they're not a sponsor, but they've lent a lot of support to help the program operate the way we do. So it's just a program that's necessary for us to get the word out about our program and to recruit students.
Yeah, so, you know, in New Orleans, I think mentorship is so important. So a lot of people talk about becoming mentors, and they should. So if you would give somebody a bit of advice if they became a mentor, what would that bit of advice be?
First of all, it has to be organic. You have to want to do it, because it does take patience. And everyone's not going to go out and start their own 501c3 and what have you, but it could be a young man in the office that's younger than you. It could be someone who's still in college or an intern or whatever. You just lend some time to and sit down and see where they want to be. And when people begin to have that, it's a domino effect is basically what it's going to do. It could be someone at your church. It could be someone at a school, or friends of your children, if you have children, what have you, who does not have the sort of stability in their household. It's the very simple things you do. It's just a kind gesture. It's a lending an ear to a young person that may just want to get something off his chest, or just even asking them a question. You be the person that kicks it off, and say, hey, you know, I notice you're doing something, you know, pretty good, and do you need any help? If you ever need me, give me a call. That right there does wonders for people.
Right.
It's very simple. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, but just that kind gesture to offer your assistance or lend an ear to a young person. It really builds their self-esteem.
I could tell you're passionate about it. You have a website where people can go to and learn more about Bless 26 and about this event you have coming up?
Yes, you can learn about Bless 26 and everything that we do, all of our programs, at www.bless26.info. Somebody bought my domain name at .com, so I had to redo it. But bless26.info. If they would like to buy tickets to purchase, so either they can attend themselves, or they would like to sponsor a table or a ticket so the young people won't be charged. We're not charging them anyway, we're just going to cover it. But if they want to support that effort, they can go to Family Breakfast 2014 at bless26.info, and we can reserve a table in their name and recognize them at the event for allowing this event to happen, so young people can attend and learn more about Bless 26 and the services that we offer.
We have to wrap up, but tell us a couple of the speakers that are going to be there, because that was kind of impressive to me and may make people want to go as well.
Exactly. Dr. Norman Francis has given us time. He's going to open up our event. WDSU meteorologist Damon Singleton, he's one of our board members. He is going to be our moderator. Mr. Norman Robinson, WDSU anchor, is going to be one of our speakers. And Dr. Dana Andrus, everyone calls him Dr. Truth. He is phenomenal. He has changed my life and me just dealing with him. And I'll also offer a few words as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Kendal, keep up the good work. And my friend, thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me to be on your show.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Guys, stay right there. We'll be right back with our DIY segment.
We can beat this. The spill in the Gulf, it's a catastrophe.
But we will solve it.
This is not a Gulf Coast issue.
This is a national problem that requires a national solution.
But what can you do to help?
What do you have to offer? Your voice.
Speak up.
Add your name to the petition
demanding restoration and protection
of America's Gulf Coast.
Sign it.
Share it.
Be the one.
Be the one. RestoreTheGulf.com.
Guys, it's our favorite time of the show. It's the DIY do-it-yourself time of the show. So of course, we called in the occasional wife to show us some easy ways to get organized this year. Thank you so much for being here, Mallory.
Thank you so much for having us.
So it's a new year, new you, getting organized. So of course, you are the guys to call in. Tell us a little bit why it's so important to get organized in the new year.
Well, no matter what your resolution is, whether it's to lose weight, get in shape, be more romantic, or just plain get organized, living a more organized life is going to help you achieve those goals.
Absolutely.
So we have plenty of tips and tricks to help you get there.
And you bought us some tips today. So you're going to walk us through this. Where would you like to start?
We're going to start over here.
Okay.
We just have a pile of magazines here, and I bet that almost all of you have a pile like this in your home.
I do.
Of course you do. I bet you have lots of pretty design magazines like this. So, you know, paper clutter is one of the biggest problems that everyone has, whether it's your old bills piling up or, you know, paperwork, whatever it is, magazines. So what we suggest is that you take a little time each day to tackle the paper clutter. Unless it's your favorite magazine ever written and your brother or your sister is in it, you should not be holding on to old issues of magazines.
Right.
So get rid of them. You know, libraries take old issues of magazines. Thrift shops take old issues of magazines because people collect them and make collages or whatever. So that's our first tip. Tackle the paper clutter. Get yourself a shredder. They have really cute shredders now that sit right on your desk. Or you can get a big one, or you can take a big bag full of stuff to Office Depot and they'll shred it for you for about $1 a pound.
Right. And guys, you know, we talk a lot about recycling, upcycling. That's basically what Mallory's telling you to do, is to recycle all these old magazines. What's next?
Okay, so sometimes your closet can be the scariest place in your house. And it should be fun when you look in your closet. So the first thing we want you to do, and it's a chore, and you can do it a little bit at a time, is to change the hangers in your closet. And I know that sounds crazy, but you will be amazed at the amount of space that you save if you change from the big bulky plastic hangers to these thin felt-lined hangers. You'll save so much space and it'll look like you have a whole new closet, and you'll be able to see what's in your closet and get dressed way more easily.
Okay.
And the other thing with the closet, a little trick that we like to do at the beginning of the year, and you've probably heard of this, and we actually learned it from Oprah's show several years ago. You go into your closet and turn the hangers around. So if you're hanging everything this way, take everything out and hang it this way. And when you take something out and wear it,
you're so right.
when you put it back in the closet, turn it this way.
Right.
And in 6 months, look at that closet, and any hangers that are turned the opposite way, that's what you've worn.
I do that. I use bread ties to make me know that, you know, I've worn this already, don't wear it again, but that's a good trick.
You're one of us.
Yeah, so what's next? We gotta move on.
Okay, so your drawers, you know, everybody's got a junk drawer. Doesn't matter who you are. We've all got junk drawers. These are little drawer organizers. You put them in there, you know, you can put your pens, your makeup brushes, anything. Just make that junk drawer more organized. Keep all your junk in it.
I agree.
But, you know, that way if it's organized, you can see what you have. And you can use anything. You know, you can put a shoebox in there. You can put an old cracker box, whatever. It all works.
And what's next?
So, turntables are one of our favorite tools.
Oh, mine too.
So you can use them in cabinets, you can use them on counters. Our favorite way to use them is in your refrigerator.
Right.
Put all those condiments on there, you can see everything you have. So turntables are a giant tool.
All right, and what's next?
Okay, so this right here is something called a rump roost. And this is just a dual purpose storage chest. It fits so much stuff, then this lid fits right on top and you can sit on it.
Guys, here's a tip. You'll be hearing about it in design time. This might be one of the colors for 2014, but wait and see. What's next? What's the next
Okay,
thing?
so, and you know, you want your organization to seem pretty. You want to like what you're seeing. So there's so many new things out there. Like this is just a simple little wine rack that looks beautiful on your counter, and it's just a way so you don't have a bunch of wine bottles sitting around. So we have a lot of products like this in our store, just cute and very visually nice.
I am really drawn to this. Tell me a little bit about what this is. I know what it is, but explain to the viewers about this.
Okay, so one of our biggest tips for getting organized is to get creative. You have tons of stuff in your house that you can use to organize your things. This is a bread box. I actually use this. This is from my house.
Right.
I'm short on storage space in my house, but I've got counter space. So I found this at one of our estate sales. We do help people stage and run their estate sales. And I picked this up and I use it to store my foil and saran wrap and things like that. So just be creative. You've got things around your house that you can repurpose into an organizing tool.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love this idea. So before we wrap up, tell us one of the keys, or how can we get organized in the new year?
The most important thing to remember while getting organized is to be consistent. You can't wake up one day and be like, I'm going to be so organized, and then the next day
it's a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle change. You have to say, take it one day at a time. Take it a little bit of a time. Tackle the paper one day. Tackle the cabinets the next day. Tackle your closets another day. Just do it a little bit at a time. Be consistent with it, and eventually it will become part of your lifestyle. You know, you'll walk in the door, you won't just throw your coat on the table, you'll hang it up. Just get used to it, stick with it, and we promise you'll be organized.
I agree. So you guys are locally owned and operated, so before we wrap up, tell the viewers, how can they get in touch with you guys?
Well, you can always reach us through our Facebook page, The Occasional Wife. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, @Occasional Wife. You can find us through our website, theoccasionalwife.com, or call us, 504-261-8782. And we're there. We'll swoop in our aprons and help you with anything that you need to live a more organized life.
I love your energy, and guys, I bet they will swoop in and make it more organized for you. Well, Mallory, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So guys, stay right there. We'll be back with Design Time.
Nightly Business Report. A new team, new editorial resources around the globe.
Chaos here continues.
The same objective, insightful analysis of the top business news of the day.
For the Nightly Business Report, I'm John Ford.
Every weeknight, a half-hour wrap-up of complete market coverage.
With the business and economic stories that are crucial to you.
Television's longest-running business program.
Nightly Business Report.
Weeknights at 5:30 p.m. on WLAE.
Guys, it's our design time. It's a new year and new design trends. I have the top 5 design trends for 2014. And we always like to start out with the colors of the year. So Benjamin Moore Helm Paint has come out with their color of the year, which is a breath of fresh air. I love this color. This is a really beautiful staple color that can be used throughout your house all year long. Now Pantone, the leading paint specialist, has also come out with their color of the year, and it's Radiant Orchid. So this beautifully saturated purpley pink color, I would suggest using it as an accent color. As you can see, you can use it with pillows, or you can use it with accents. So the next design trend is black and white, which it's been around for a while. This staple color pattern used to be seen in traditional design with the porcelain floors. But now we're doing it with the more geometric print. What I suggest, if you're going to use black and white, be sure that one color dominates the other, and then you throw in a pop of color, which could be one of the colors of the year. The next design trend that I'm going to tell you about is Glamour. So what you want to do is mix in dark colors with metallics. And one of the ways you can do that is you can paint your walls dark, or you can use dark wallpaper. And then the metallic accessories helps to intensify it and really make it beautiful. The next design trend I'm going to talk to you about is mixing metals. Now, the old school way of doing that was a big no-no, but this is 2014. You can do whatever you want when it comes to design trends. So you can mix silver and gold together, because at one time silver was trending, then at one time gold was trending. Now you can mix them together, and that's the new trend. And you can mix metals with wood, another great design trend. The last design trend I'm going to tell you about is navy. So somebody told me that navy is the new black. I really love navy. Navy is one of those colors that work with basically anything, and it also works with black. So guys, these are your top 5 design trends for 2014. So last year, it was limited store. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and got some really great ideas. I'd like to thank all my guests for coming on the show today. For design styles and tips, you can find all the episodes of Chet Chat. Just visit my website at chetportiodesign.com and click on my blog. Also check out my national Yahoo segment at Yahoo Shine, Easy Does It, tool-free storage solutions. Happy New Year, guys, and we hope to see you guys next month. I'm Chet Portio, and I've got designs in New Orleans.
Yeah, and so
when?
Well, we're scheduling a time
right
now.
Keep
so
me posted.
I will.
Oh, absolutely.
She's so good.